Good evening. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Terence McKenna.
How's that? Well, I can't see all of you, but it's a pleasure to be in Seattle this evening. You've made me feel real welcome. Thank you. Before I get started, I want to thank some people who made this possible. First of all, I want to thank Bruce Pavitt for his friendship and vision and patronage. I'd like to thank Jared and Alex. I'd like to thank HPX and On a Dime. These are the people responsible for the visuals. I'd like to thank John, who's responsible for the ambient background, if there is one. And Dean Chamberlain, who took the amazing photographs of Albert Hoffman and Tim Leary and myself, other people. Be sure and check out his photographs. The guy is a major talent. Okay, so much for all of that. I hope you all got the brochures which were available this evening, which indicate major events in the psychedelic community to come. One in Mexico that's become legendary over the years, and one dedicated to psychedelic artists that will occur in Hawaii this September, that is a new experiment and an effort to expand the dialogue on psychedelics, to bring artists out of the closet and to force a confrontation on the issue of the impact of psychedelics on creativity. Okay, having said all that, our discussion this evening is psychedelics in the age of intelligent machines, or shamans among the machines. And I wanted to talk about this simply because these are two of my great loves, and so I assume, being monogamous, they must be one love. So how to build intellectual bridges between these two concerns, which seem so different. As far as people and machines are concerned, it was Ludwig von Bertalanffy, I think, who said in his book General Systems Theory, he said, people are not machines, but in every opportunity where they are allowed to behave like machines, they will so behave. In other words, we tend to fall into the well of habit. Though the glory of our humanness is our spontaneous creativity, we too, as creatures of physics and chemistry, of memory and hope, tend to fall into repetitious patterns. And these repetitious patterns are the death of creativity. They diminish our humanness. They diminish our individuality, make each of us somehow like cogs in some larger system. And we associate this cog-like membership in larger soulless systems with the machines that we inherit from the age of the internal combustion engine, the age of the jet engine. You know, Marshall McLuhan said we navigate our way into the future like someone driving who uses only the rear view mirror to tell them where they're going. It's not a very successful strategy for navigating into the future. So I made a number of notes on this matter of psychedelics and machines. To me, the connecting bridge, well, there are many, but the most obvious one is consciousness expansion. After all, psychedelics, before they were called entheogens, before they were called hallucinogens, before they were called psychedelics, they were simply called consciousness expanding drugs. Good phenomenological description of what they do. And certainly the technology of cybernetics is a consciousness expanding technology. It expands a different area of consciousness. The minds of machines and the minds of human beings are very different, so different that each party questions whether the other even has a mind. But in fact, what these are species of minds operating in very different domains. For instance, you can ask a 5-year-old child to go into the bedroom, to the third drawer of the dresser, to select a pair of black socks and to bring them to mother. This is not a challenge for a 5-year-old child. To get a machine to do this is $100 million and a research team of 40 or 50 technicians, code writers, working months. On the other hand, if you ask a person for the cube root of 750,344, much head-scratching results. A computer is utterly undaunted by that question. So computers are minds that work in the realm of computation, and human minds are minds that work in the realm of generalization, spatial coordination, understanding of natural language, so forth and so on. Are these kinds of minds so different from each other, pilgrims, that there is no bridge to be crossed? I would submit not. That in fact the bridge between the human mind and the machine mind is symbolic logic, mathematics. When we think clearly, we are intelligible to machines. People who write code know this, that the essence of making yourself clear to a machine is to think clearly yourself. The machine has no patience for the half-truth, the analogy, the semi-grasped association. For the machine, everything has to be clear. Everything must be defined. So that's the commonality between minds and machines of the calculating species. What are the common bridges between psychedelics and these machines? Well, to my mind, this is an easier bridge to gap. Both computers and drugs are what I would call function-specific arrangements of matter. And as we develop nanotechnological abilities as we move into the next century, it will be more and more clear that the difference between drugs and machines is simply that one is too large to swallow. And our best people are working on that. You know, nanotechnology is a very hot buzzword at the moment, and